What's up, everybody? Matt Nuzzo. We're here at Reel to talk to you about the much anticipated Naish S25 wing surfer. S25 stands for Season 25, so Naish is going to have a whole line of Season 25 products coming out. The wing surfer S25 is the first one to come out. The S25 wing surfer comes in 5 different sizes from 2.8 to 6.0. They will add in a 7.0, but that's going to take quite a bit more R&D to make sure that that's right. As they're increasing the sizes, as you see on the 6.0, they have to change the aspect ratio to make sure you're not putting the wingtip in the water. Gonna have to take a shot. Because they're, basically don't want to have these wingtips that are way on the outside and dragging along in the water. So 7.0 is going to take some while. 6.0, I'll tell you, having used it, it's a ton of power. It works in, really, really light air, like 5 to 10 miles an hour. You're out on foil cruising. So, 7.0, I'm not really sure what I'm going to use that in. Naish has done a great job making a complete package. So this wing comes with the wing, which you see here, pump, which is awesome that they thought about including a pump, has the proper valves for it, and then also the stuff sack and a repair kit. This is the 6.0, the biggest wing that they've got out right now, and that package is still quite small. When you get into the smaller ones, they pack down even smaller. So Naish has done a great job making their wings pack down to really, really small packages. Having this urethane leash is great too. It's nice that they included just a kind of straight surf style leash. I hate the coil ones because they're always like tangling the knots and like wrapping around you and stuff. A couple of the key features about this that they've done is they've done a great job using their high tensile strength thread. So these things are super strong and designed to be pumped up really, really solid. They say 7 to 9 pounds. I actually like it up to kind of like 10 pounds. I want to have this frame super rigid when I'm out there riding. They have put in these Kevlar bumpers, and you can see along the wingtip here, they've done a really good job of just completely reinforcing the entire wingtip. Because if you're like wing skating with this and cruising along, a parking lot and stuff, you are going to touch down, and you want to make sure that this does not get scuffed up or rip up the Dacron. They have included this year windows, which kind of seems a little crazy. Like, it's like, oh, what's the big deal with windows? Well, when you're holding up a wing and riding, you can't see downwind of you, right? So you have to keep doing this or this. With the windows, you just peek through the window and see where you're going. So it seems simple, but it's a really, really nice added feature. On the handle end, they've got 3 handles on the leading edge and then handles all the way down the strut. I love that they've got handles everywhere because every person has a different wingspan, stance, where they're holding it, where they want to hold it, how they want to hold the wing, and it's a really awesome to have all those extra handles, particularly if you're putting like a harness loop line to use a harness. It's nice to just lock into those and find out kind of which ones are going to work there. They did put these SUP little tethers on here. You can put your SUP paddle on there. I don't really think that they're that necessary. I don't see too many people taking this thing out with their SUP paddle, but they are an SUP company, so they're like, hey, it's a simple little Velcro tabs they can add on there. So they add them on there so the people that want to, paddle out and then ride the wing back and connect their paddle to the wing, they've got the opportunity to do that. They do have their new inflate valve, which is like a real high pressure valve, and they've done a cool feature. They've just put a little vented out the cap here so that when you pop off the cap and deflating it, if the flap cover comes over, it's vented so it still will bleed out air. They're also using the high end that real thick tube so the strut deflates pretty quickly. This is a big center strut so that when it deflates, it's definitely really nice to do that. So one other final feature that we noticed was pretty cool is that they basically have the strut to make it large enough to be real rigid, so when you're jumping and riding, really kind of horking on this wing, that you're going to have a lot of rigidity. But they've also wanted the draft to be deeper, so they connected Dacron from the strut all the way to the leading edge. And this is a feature they brought over from kite surfing kites and allows the draft to move, which allows it to eat gusts and to feel really balanced and stable. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about when we're talking about performance, is that the S25 is really balanced when you're riding it. Okay, so when you get hit by gusts, like we're riding in, been testing in some really gusty northeast conditions here at Reel, which is side offshore, so you're literally riding in 5 to 15 or 10, 5 to 20 miles an hour wind, depending on where you are in the zone. And when you're coming in through those gusty areas, you see the wind stop and you just keep blazing right through it. And you see a gust come and it doesn't feel like this big surge of power, right? So it's like this wing does so well in absorbing gusts because of how the draft can move, because of how they did this canopy attachment here. The next thing is how much apparent wind this wing creates. So apparent wind is basically wind that the wing is feeling while you're underway. And so when you're riding this, when you're handling it, it feels super lightweight. I hold this wing and it's just like really lightweight. When I sheet in, I don't feel like I've got too much power, right? I don't feel like I've got too much power, But then once you pump this and get a little bit of apparent wind moving across the wing, you are all of a sudden start generating power, and before you know it, you're up on foil and just hauling, and you don't feel a lot of pressure in your hands, which is super nice. Like a lot of the wings, as you continue to increase your power on the foil, like you feel in your hands as you continue to increase the power on the foil, you just get more tired. It's just more to hold back. This, even when you're powered up, it doesn't feel like a lot of wing to hold back. So it does an amazing job like balancing those gusts and just really smoothing things out. One of the features that's really nice for the beginners is how easy this is to flip over, okay? So they've got a larger leading edge and a segmented leading edge to give you rigidity, but it's also not gigantic, so it's like, you know, super easy to flip, right? So one of the hardest things for beginners to do is just flipping this wing in the water. And this you can do kind of just with complete ease. It just flips over just so easily, one direction or the other, and it makes it a lot easier for beginners to ride. The final features of riding, what we want to talk about is wave riding and jumping. So like this wing, like we're just so impressed of how well it works just for cruising, riding, and really starting out. And then when you get it a little more advanced into the wave riding, it's just super balanced. When you're underway and cruising, like it feels like you don't even have a wing in your hands, right? The lightweight build and feel of this makes you feel like you're just surfing the wave, but you're not sure how you got there because the wing is, you know, holding your hand. You're just like, things flying right behind you. Riding waves is really awesome. And then jumping too, it gives you a lot of forward speed and motion, and the key to any jump in any sport is speed, right? So you have greater forward speed, so you can actually get better airs on this because you've got a ton of forward speed. When you land, there is enough flex in the frame that it, you know, like it doesn't like land and kind of like really jolt you. It lands, flexes some, and then you boom, you can get going and keep cruising. So it kind of has that nice balance of like, you know, enough rigidity to give you the power that you need and keep the wing stable, but also enough flex that when you're jumping and doing a little more advanced stuff on it that it's not gonna feel like, you know, be kind of yanking you around and pushing all over the place. So with the range of sizes here, we've been really stoked to have that full range. 4.6 and 5.3 are kind of the go-to sizes. 4.6 being, you know, kind of just a good all-around, easy to start with wing. 5.3 if you're a bigger rider or riding in lighter air conditions, 5.3. When you get to the 6.0, they've done a great job making it user-friendly, but it still has a lot of power and it's gonna be more to handle. So 4.6 and 5.3 are kind of the two sizes that we've been, you know, seeing most people go for. If you have questions about what size is gonna be right for you, or more questions about like how this wing compares to others, or what, you know, even how, you know, like how to make this wing work right, or why wing surfing is fun. You know, that's a big question. Why do I want to get out there and go wing surf? Well, it's a blast. That's why, and you can use it in tons of conditions. But if you have any of those questions, give us a call to shop, 252-987-6000, or you can reach out online at realwatersports.com, and we'll see you guys on the water.